Hi ladies and gentlemen, today we're going to be testing out solutions to inequalities. What that really means is I want to figure out if these possible solutions make this inequality true. So we're going to figure out which one of these would make it true. So to do that, we're going to test it out. So I'm going to take each of those numbers and substitute them in for n. Let's try n equals 40. So I'm going to replace n with 40. Right, so 40 minus 15 is 25, and 25 is not greater than 35. So that means 40 is not a solution for that inequality. I can cross it out. Let's try n equals 45. So 45 minus 15, is it greater than 35? Nope, when I subtract those, we end up with 30. 30 is not greater than 35, so 45 is not a solution either. Let's try 50. We're going to substitute 50 in, minus 15. Is it greater than 35? Nope, when we subtract, it's 35. So this is not a solution either, because 35 is not greater than 35. And our last one, n equals 55. 55 minus 15. Is it greater than 35? Yes. When I subtract, that's 40. 40 is greater than 35, so 55 is a solution. It's the only one in that list that would make that inequality true. Sometimes when you're given a list, all of them are true. Sometimes none of them are true. But you should be showing your work to substitute it in and show in the end that one side does not equal the other, or one side is greater than or less than the other, and decide whether that's true or not. Let's go to number 2. We have 3 times the sum of n plus 10. We want to know what values make that less than or equal to 33. So we're going to substitute n equals -1 in. So 3 parentheses -1 plus 10, will that be less than or equal to 33? So inside the parentheses, -1 plus 10 is 9. And then 3 times 9 is 27. 27 is less than or equal to 33. That statement is true, so that means -1 is a solution. Let's try n equals 0. Substituting in 0. Right, so in for n. 0 plus 10 is 10. And then we're going to do 3 times 10. That's 30. And 30 is less than or equal to 33. That statement is true. So 0 is also a solution. Let's try n equals 2. 3 and then 2 plus 10, is it less than or equal to 33? Well, this would be 3 times 12, and that's 36. 36 is not less than 33, so 2 is not a solution. And the last one we're going to try is n equals 5. And I can already conclude that 5 is not going to work, but I'm going to prove it anyways, because 5 is bigger than 2, and as you notice, as we're going up higher and higher and bigger, this left side is getting bigger and bigger. We want it to be less than 33. So logically, I know 5 is not going to work, but I'm going to prove it here by substituting in. Right, 3 times 15 is 45, and 45 is not less than or equal to 33, so 5 is not a solution. So the only possible solutions in this list are -1 and 0. Let's take a look at one more, number 3. We have some fractions here that we're going to work with. So 1/2 x plus 1/2 is greater than or equal to 14. So let's substitute 23 in first. So x equals 23. So we're going to do 1/2 times 23 plus 1/2 is it greater than or equal to 14. So 23 times 2 is 23 halves. And if I change that into a mixed number, it's going to be 11 and a half. Right, 11 and a half plus 1 and a half would be 13. 13 is not greater than 14, so that means 23 is not a solution to that inequality. Let's test out x equals 25. So we have a half times 25 plus 1 and a half is greater than or equal to 14. 25 times a half is 12 and a half, or 25 halves, which is 12 and a half. And then we're going to add 1 and a half to it. That's 14. 14 is equal to 14, so that means this statement is true, and 25 is a possible solution. Let's test out our last one, x equals 27, and again, logically, I know 27 should work, unless I made some calculation error here. I know that as I get bigger, this left-hand side is going to continue to get bigger, which we want it to be greater than 14. So if this is true and I make x bigger, it's going to continue to get bigger on the left. Let's test it out anyways. A half times 27 plus 1 and a half, is it greater than or equal to 14? 27 times a half is 27 halves. That's 13 and a half as a mixed number. And 13 and a half plus 1 and a half is 15. So 15 is greater than 14. That statement is true. 27 is a solution. So in this case, 25 and 27 are possible values for our inequality. 23 is not. All right, try out some of the practice problems, and I will speak to you during our video call if you have any questions. Bye.